Hey everyone, today's episode is sponsored by Boosted Boards and by ExpressVPN. But let's talk tech.
News time! Yeah, so last week at the end of Tech Newsday, we mentioned how we filmed that video just before some possibly big announcement from Elon Musk about Neurolink, one of his various companies, which was founded 3 years ago, but from whom we have not heard much since. Now, the initial basic pitch when Neuralink was first announced was pretty ambitious. Brain-computer interfaces, literally connecting people's brains to computers, making them one with the machine, which is very sci-fi, very cyberpunk. But it's also something that kind of already exists, at least in the early stages, clinical trials, whatnot. Brain-computer interfaces have been used in tech that allows paralyzed people to type and move a cursor on a computer using just their minds. It's also been used in experiments to control the movements of rats and cockroaches. So it's not entirely new, but it's still a very basic thing.
So existing brain-computer interfaces are very cool, but also very basic. Neuralink is, of course, way more ambitious, as Musk projects generally are. Elon's been pretty open about how dangerous he sees unchecked artificial intelligence becoming in a few years, and Neuralink is a way for humanity to keep up. Last November, in an interview with Axios, Musk said that the goal of Neuralink is to democratize intelligence and make everyone super smart by linking brains with all of the publicly available digital information on Earth, and also allow people to store their memories and thoughts in the cloud, which would also be a solution to Alzheimer's and dementia.
Supposedly.
I mean, at that point, it's just you're watching a movie about yourself and you don't know. So yeah, it's very ambitious, and Musk has said that he sees this tech hitting the market in about a decade. And, you know, I gotta say, it would be, interesting to be able to record all the times you had the sex. And you could just watch them back whenever you want.
Yeah, I mean, literally Black Mirror.
All one time.
I'm excited for that Striking Vipers video game to finally be real.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck dudes in a fighting game.
There you go.
That's the real excitement. It's not gay. Anyway, last Tuesday night, Elon Musk and Neuralink held their first big public presentation explaining what they're trying to do and how far along they are. And what they showed off was very impressive. It's also, though, very, very clearly in the early stages. And while Musk himself mentioned stuff like cloud memory storage, superintelligence, and telepathy as something that this could lead to down the line, the other Neuralink employees who spoke, the actual scientist people, they were much more grounded in where they are now. What this is going to be used for, if and when it ever, comes out, is the same stuff that existing brain-computer interface research has focused on. Disabilities like Parkinson's and paralysis. And what they presented last week, it does seem like it'll be a huge leap forward in that regard.
I have a question,
Hopefully.
though. Like, if you're able to record your memories, going back to what he wants to do, couldn't you just, cheat at all the tests?
There wouldn't need to be any tests. Everyone would know everything already.
But you can, okay. Bad idea. Anyways, existing brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs, they're quite basic and limited, but Neuralink says theirs will have 1,000 times the number of electrodes present in existing systems, which will be contained in threads containing multiple electrodes that can read and write encased in a protective polymer coating. These threads are insanely thin, much thinner than a human hair, and will be implanted by a sewing machine-like robot in a surgery that only requires an 8mm hole in the skull. Existing brain surgery techniques are pretty invasive, but Neuralink says that they envision theirs as being no more invasive than LASIK surgery and taking less than 20 minutes to install each unit's 96 threads into the brain.
Yeah, so their system currently uses USB-C to transmit data, but the goal is to go wireless, with each brain implant communicating wirelessly with a device placed behind the user's ear, which can then be controlled via a smartphone app. Musk says they plan to start human trials before the end of 2020. And he said that in addition to testing on rodents, quote, a monkey has been able to control a computer with its brain, which made the other Neuralink people on stage, the actual scientists, they all were visibly surprised that he was telling anyone this, though, probably because it's not really something they were ready to reveal yet.
And then they told that monkey that its cat died. Sad. Anyways, they showed what they showed off. It was quite impressive, but also nothing worth getting extremely excited about right now, unless you have a serious neurological disability and plan on being alive for at least the next decade. And if that's your case, then
yeah,
time to perk up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, this is all stuff that already exists, just way smaller and more efficient. And while it's super ambitious, it's got a long way to go, obviously. One of the biggest problems with existing basic BCIs is electrodes eventually getting moved around by the blood flow within the brain and becoming useless or even damaging the brain.
Yeah.
The chemistry of the brain also makes it hard for implanted devices to last very long in there. The biggest hurdle, though, is that in general, we still don't know a whole lot about how the brain works, though brain research is somewhere Neurolink could be incredibly useful. Recording and decoding complex signals from the brain at higher resolutions than existing methods while being way less invasive. Cool.
Yeah.
It has huge potential, but the cyberpunk weeb shit and recording everything about your life, it's a long way off. When are you gonna find the time to watch the movies about your life when you should be living it?
This
then the memories start writing over each other because then you have a memory of you watching a memory.
Yeah, you get into a feedback loop, and then
you're
like,
my threads blow out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole presentation, it reveals so much about Musk. I mean, shit we already knew, but it's like the way he approaches these companies, like with SpaceX, it's like, it's not just a rocket company who's making, like, putting satellites in the atmosphere more efficient. It's gonna take us to fucking Mars within this man's lifetime, and like, that's the goal, and it's like...
It's good to have goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to think about, but it's like, the reality is it's so far off. So like, with a company like this, who's doing brain implants, which is like, you know, something scientists have been doing for a while, but not a lot of progress is being done. And they're like, yeah, like, you know, realistically, like 5 years from now, maybe someone with Parkinson's shakes a little bit less. And Musk's like, what's that? What's that you say? We're gonna make Ghost in the Shell real within my lifetime? Hell yes, sign me up. And they're like, I mean,
all right, Mr.
I guess
Musk, thank you for
maybe.
the money. Thank you for the money.
Yeah.
All right, he's gone, guys. Let's
like,
get back to
this
work.
presentation, like the difference between the stuff Musk was saying and what the actual like people working on the project were saying is it's so interesting.
Yeah.
The differences there, because they're focused on like the immediate stuff, and he's just like, yeah, you're gonna be able to communicate with your thoughts.
I mean,
pretty cool, huh?
His thinking, it's sound logic, because if you set the goal astronomically high, you're gonna have to meet the other goals to get there.
Presumably.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. It all sounds very expensive. Again, we don't know a lot about how the brain really like works, aside from like very basic motor function shit. I mean, it's cool that they're putting money into this. Like, the biggest problem with places like Stanford and MIT doing research in this, they don't have a lot of money or resources to actually do it, so progress is super slow. But you got this Daddy Warbucks here just throwing money at it in the hopes that he can watch, like, cat porn in his brain.
Yeah.
Like, probably gonna get a lot more done.
I mean, I've had my critiques of Musk in the past. I've had my ups and downs with Musk, but I will say, he's ambitious.
He is.
He's ambitious.
I just wish he was a better public speaker.
Yeah.
I forget sometimes.
And a less vindictive person.
Yeah, and less of a weirdo on Twitter.
Yes.
But, you know.
Again, nothing
is
wrong
cool.
with his tweets, but he runs a bunch of multi-million-dollar companies, one of which takes people into space. Or not people yet, but...
That's the idea.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Musk stuff, or at least Musk-adjacent stuff, the auto industry as a whole is increasingly embracing electric vehicles as the future, but one of the remaining strongholds of the gas-powered internal combustion engine is trucks.
Rolling coal, baby.
Yeah. Aside from the cultural aspects of truck ownership, people that actually use them for work need that torque to tow shit. And that torque requires gasoline. But electric motors do fine, and it might change soon. This week, Ford showed off a prototype all-electric F-150 truck, and to demo why any truck owner would ever want this electric truck, boo, they invited a few loyal F-150 owners down to the rail yard, where they were presumably working anyway, and demonstrated the electric F-150 successfully towing 10 double-decker rail cars carrying 42 current model F-150s, adding up to over 1 million pounds. It did it.
Yeah.
You think you were impressive, Elon Musk? Well, check this out.
He's got his truck coming out.
No, but they towed way more than his. His was not close. Now, this is obviously a PR video, but it's still quite impressive, and hopefully it's something that Ford keeps working on. It's the biggest thing is going to be the cultural shift, not the shift into how much power it has.
Yeah.
Just getting people who own trucks to be cool with an electric truck.
Well, a lot of electric, you know, the design of a lot of electric cars has been to make them look futuristic.
I hate that. It's the
This
worst
one
design
looks
choice.
exactly the same as a current F-150. It just has an electric engine. Yeah, and the biggest hurdle is making a battery that lasts long enough for a full day's work out there.
It towed that train
Towing bales of hay.
Towed that train for 5 minutes before it completely depleted its battery.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a good sign. It's not just for city folk.
Yeah.
Someday, you might be hauling cattle in an electric truck.
Hauling your electric dirt bikes in the back of your electric truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, also in muskiness, space. Saturday was the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, and like with the anniversary of the launch last week, CBS News streamed their entire live broadcast from 1969 on their YouTube channel so that people today could get a great sense of how it felt to be there when it all happened originally. Where were you when we landed on the moon?
I was in my young father's balls.
Same. And watching it, it really underlines just how damn impressive the Apollo 11 mission was. I mean, the quality of the live video transmission from the moon was just god-awful. But also, it's live video footage from the moon in 1969.
Yeah.
It's wild to think about. Also interesting is that, where today a news broadcast would feature CGI to demonstrate things to viewers, CBS just built a scale model of the lunar lander in their studio and had actors and experts in spacesuits inside it demonstrating what the astronauts were doing up there while everyone waited for, like, the actual footage from the moon. I was watching this, I was like, this is brilliant. Why don't we do this more often?
Because it costs too much money.
I was like, they had these experts in there, not astronauts, full on fucking spacesuit, including like the helmet, being like, all right, and this is where they're gonna do this. They didn't have to be in the spacesuit, but they did it anyway. Wow. Immersion.
You know, things used to be a lot better, Elliot. We should make America great again. I agree with you.
We should make America great again.
Anyways, NASA hasn't sent anyone to the moon in a very long time, obviously, but that's supposed to change pretty soon. Speaking of MAGA, the Trump administration really, really wants another moon landing, and a few months back, they put that whole plan into motion. The mission is called Artemis, and the goal is not only to have astronauts back on the moon by 2024, but also a long-term sustainable space station orbiting the moon. The idea here is that the space station houses the lunar landers, so astronauts traveling to the moon would dock there first before going to the moon's surface and then back, and this process could obviously be repeated any number of times. The whole thing is very ambitious, especially given the timetable, and it'll also cost a fuck ton of money that many are arguing should be spent elsewhere.
Yeah, even on other NASA projects. But a lot of people are like, what does NASA even do? We haven't been to the moon in 50 years. It's like, there's no real reason to go back to the moon.
We've done.
You go there, you get some dirt. It's literally just a big ball of dirt.
It's like
you don't need to return.
It's like stopping at Wall Drug in South Dakota or wherever it is. You go once because the billboards are everywhere, and you realize that it's impossible for them to have the coldest water on Earth available to drink because that would be ice.
Yeah, true. Good point.
So why go back?
Yeah.
The moon is like our Wall Drug in the sky.
Yeah. But Trump really wants to go to the moon.
Hey, I think it's cool. Listen, I'm not downplaying it. I think it's fucking awesome. I have no say in the matter. If we go back to the moon, I think it's very cool.
Yeah.
I will watch every second of the live
It would
stream.
be cool to at least have like another moon landing with like 4K cameras up there.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be...
Like that's the only reason I'm like in favor of this is because like the footage would be sick. But be streaming it on YouTube. There'd be people in the chat dropping emotes.
Yeah, but if the astronauts aren't doing anything cool, you could just send a rover up there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what all the space agencies of the world have been doing because it's much cheaper to send a robot anywhere than send people who need to breathe and eat and shit.
So they have to do cool tricks.
Yeah.
They need to get back in that buggy and start driving.
Yeah, send up a Ford F-150.
That would be impressive.
Get Ford to sponsor the next moon landing. Get a truck, an electric truck on the moon, no combustion.
You joke, but that'll happen. Like that's going to happen.
Get Jeremy Renner doing the soundtrack. Got a truck on the moon.
Go listen to our podcast. We did an exclusive podcast where we wrote songs for Jeremy Renner's music project. It's for patrons only.
Yeah. Anyways, before we get into even more tech news for this week, it's time to hear from this week's sponsor, starting with boosted boards. Send one of those to the moon.
Yeah, that'd be fun to ride.
If you got
a skate park on the moon.
Yeah. If you got places to go, time spent stuck in traffic is time not spent exploring, creating, having fun, or going to the moon. Use Boosted to get where you need to be faster. Boosted's vehicle-grade electric skateboards and scooters are the modern solution to your transportation woes. With a 22-mile range and max speeds of 24 miles per hour, Boosted is perfect for going to the store or traveling across town.
And they haven't said that it doesn't tow trains with its electric
Give it
motor.
a try.
Yeah.
See how many trains you can tow.
It's designed to provide a luxurious experience, and it's no wonder that Boosted was one of Time magazine's best inventions of 2018. With 5 options to pick from, including their new scooter, the Boosted Rev, there's a personal electric vehicle that's tailor-made for you. Starting at $61 a month with financing, there's no better time to change how you move than now. Right now, Boosted is offering our viewers, that's you, $75 off the purchase of an electric vehicle when you use the code Newsday, all one word, at checkout. Go to boostedboards.com and use the promo code Newsday at checkout to get $75 off your vehicle. That is boostedboards.com, promo code Newsday at checkout for $75 off.
And this episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. If you're traveling abroad this summer, there are a lot of things on your checklist to pack, but what's probably missing is the one app that's going to keep you safe and secure online while you're away, ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN doesn't just encrypt your data while you surf the internet on public Wi-Fi and hotel Wi-Fi. It even lets you stream and access content that normally would have been blocked in that country that you're in.
And we would normally not really tell you that, but
This is the ad copy.
they said it. They said we can say it.
With ExpressVPN, you go somewhere else and then you can unblock all your favorite websites that you might usually only have access to in your home country. You can access the internet just like you would if you were home.
Yeah. And
It's
listen,
a thing.
They haven't said we could say this yet, so I'm not going to say that you could do the opposite of that as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that I'm not saying
Not going to say you can pretend you live in like the UK, for example.
and watch Channel 4
yeah.
or any number of wonderful British comedy
Not
shows.
going to say that.
We would never say that unless they told us to.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, ExpressVPN runs in the background of your computer or phone, and then you just use the internet like you normally would. You download the app, you click to connect, and voila, you're protected. ExpressVPN is fast as hell. It costs less than $7 a month, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. ExpressVPN uses new cutting-edge technology called Trusted Server to make sure that there's no logs of what you do online. It's time to stop hackers, Big Brother, and internet companies from grabbing all your data, and time to tear down those virtual walls blocking content from the place that you live while you're traveling.
Mr. Gorbachev, give me my shows.
Take back your online privacy with ExpressVPN. Protect your online activity today and find out how you can get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Newsday. That is expressvpn.com/Newsday for 3 months free off a 1-year package. Go to their website, expressvpn.com/Newsday to learn more.
Back to the news now. The FTC fined Facebook $5 billion this
Good.
week for their various privacy breaches, including that big Cambridge Analytica scandal from a little while back. That's the second largest fine in FTC history, though the record is still held by Volkswagen, who were caught lying about the emissions of their diesel cars in a massive global scandal that I forget about sometimes, and I remember. I'm like, holy shit,
There's a
wow.
documentary on Netflix about it.
Yeah. Well, there's also a documentary about Cambridge Analytica on Netflix that came out this week that has gotten mixed reviews.
Okay.
But probably still worth checking out. Anyway, Facebook is now required to conduct privacy reviews of every new product or service they develop. They must submit those to a third-party assessor every quarter. And yeah, this all might sound like a lot. $5 billion is a lot. It still amounts to a slap on the wrist. Very light touch. Several FTC commissioners were unhappy that the settlement lets Mark Zuckerberg and other executives off the hook for personal liability over any of this, and they voted against it. Commissioner Rebecca Slaughter wrote in her dissent, "When executives at large companies exercise control over decisions, including decisions to break the law, they should be held accountable the same way executives at smaller companies are." Pretty good point.
Seems fair.
These are the people making the decisions that cause the illegal things to happen.
Yeah. The FTC also announced separate action against Cambridge Analytica, as well as its CEO Alexander Nix and Alexander Kogan, the guy who developed the app that Cambridge Analytica used to harvest data. But from the sounds of it, this is more of a symbolic gesture than anything else. Cambridge Analytica is already bankrupt, and the punishment against Nix and Kogan, requiring them to destroy any remaining personal information they still hold, seems pretty unenforceable.
Yeah.
So, as usual, everything's running 5 years too late.
It's a big tisk.
Yeah.
And nothing
Don't
more.
do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Facebook, their upcoming Libra cryptocurrency is really turning into a big headache for them.
Good.
And it might not even be allowed to launch when they're planning it to, or ever, thanks to, I don't know, the governments of the world rightfully not really trusting Facebook with running their own currency. In addition to that, though, the Washington Post reported this week that Libra has inspired a whole wave of scams, many of which exist on Facebook itself. Legitimate-looking pages on Facebook and Instagram trying to scam rubes out of money in exchange for fake Libra coins at a discount. All those pages, they look legit. Your dad or your mom looking at it would probably think they were official pages. And there was a bunch of them, and they were only removed from Facebook and Instagram when the Washington Post told Facebook about them, as is tradition.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and add this to the big pile of reasons why Libra is a terrible idea that shouldn't happen.
That's why I'm keeping all of my cryptocurrency in the Ligma coin.
Ligma.
Yeah. Speaking of Facebook, remember a few weeks back when a politician in Pakistan held a press conference that was streamed to Facebook Live and the cat filter was accidentally turned on?
That could never happen over here.
Well, more recently, the same thing happened up in Canada. But it's way less funny and way more fucked up because this time it was a police press conference about a roadside double murder of a young couple.
Ooh.
So for the whole time this police sergeant was at the podium describing this horrific crime and asking the public for help in solving it, she had fucking cat ears and whiskers. It's ridiculous. It's a big yikes, obviously, especially for friends and family of the victims. And probably not the last time we'll see a cat filter on something it's totally inappropriate for. But I will say, it's getting a lot more coverage than it would have because of the cat ears.
That's true. I mean, they need leads, and now more people are aware of the press conference. It could be a blessing in disguise. Pretty messed up way for that to work. But hey, if it leads to results, thank you, cat filter.
I don't know what the issue with Facebook's camera is, but like, I consider myself to be pretty tech savvy, and I've definitely like video chatted with my dad where there's like sparkles on the screen. And I have no idea how to shut them off.
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, we're both sparkling right now.
Yeah,
I don't know what I touched to make it do that.
Pretty impossible to have a serious conversation
with sparkles and cat ears.
Yeah.
So that's if you ever have to break up with like your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Make sure you do it over face cam with some cute like hats or face things.
Break some of the tension with a fun filter.
Yeah.
Anyway, finally, now that the Face app old filter is played out, here's something fun. Maybe head over to AIportraits.com and run your face through their system.
Yeah.
Unlike Face app, this one's probably a bit more safe to use since it's a website and not an app, and it's run by MIT and not some shady Russian company that's probably sending all your data directly to the Kremlin.
Yeah.
But hey, it's your data. Do what you want. And AI Portraits is just really cool. Unlike the stuff that came out a few years back that would take a picture and apply an art style based on specific paintings, AI Portraits actually generates an entirely new image by comparing your face to 45,000 classical portraits that it has, finding the most similar ones, and then creating something new from all that. It's less like having a classical painting just done of a picture of your face. It's more like finding a classical painting that just happens to look a bit like you. Mm-hmm. It's not one-to-one. The site's currently down for maintenance after experiencing heavy traffic, but we were in our Tugs Boy chat. We got a lot of cool ones that you're now seeing
we were
on screen.
We were on the AI train last week before anyone knew about it.
Yeah,
we should have said something then.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out once it's back online.
Yeah,
lots of fun.
It is. And you don't have to even use your picture. It's on the internet.
Yeah,
so
you can use any. I was
take
throwing
any pictures.
Hulk Hogan, Nathan Fielder. I tried
obviously Trump and
yeah, it's fun.
Anyways, hopefully you've already watched it by now, but if you haven't, we gained access to a presidential candidate. We were able to be one of the first outlets to interview him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be our gamer president. So if you want to check out that video, it's a wild ride.
Yeah. And not a joke at all.
Completely not a joke.
Completely serious.
Yeah, everyone in the comments that was like, can't tell if these guys are serious or not.
Yep.
Dead serious.
Dead serious.
Yep, gonna happen. Anyways, check out that video and another one of our recent ones over here. Go to the Patreon and listen to the new podcast where we write songs for Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Or if you're a member on YouTube, click the community tab, find it there. Check out the videos. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.